Everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Coding Wizards. Today we're going to talk about for loops and while loops and the differences between them and why you should probably use one over the other. Let's talk about how they are made. For loops, you always start with the for, and then you add brackets, and then in here, the first thing out of the three different variables is what you're going to set a variable as. For example, I equals 0. This will make more sense later. The second thing is when this loop will play. What's the condition? When will this loop happen? What I have set here is I is less than 20. This means that it will run as long as I is less than 20. And currently, when it starts, I will be 0. Just going to quickly add this. Equals null. And then the third one is what happens every time the loop runs. So every time it runs, I gains 1 because I plus plus. So in the end, I will have 19 before it shuts out. Actually, I will have 20 when this loop ends, because it will keep going until I is less than 20. It will be 19. It will run through and add one more to I, and then it will become 20, and then I would no longer be less than 20. So the stuff inside the loop is what happens every time the code runs. Every time the code runs, D gets plus plus. This means 1 is added to D. You can do whatever you want in here. For example, D plus equals 2, or you can use some math. For example, 2 plus 8 equals D, or whatever you want to do. This is what runs. It's in the middle here. Now let's talk about the while loop. The while loop will keep doing something as long as the parameters is fine. For example, I is less than 20. This while loop does the exact same thing as the for loop, except the syntax is different. The while loop, as you can see here, every time it runs, D also gains 1, but I also gains 1. So it's doing the same thing as the for loop, except that the I loop, it doesn't require the syntax for the for loop. It just requires while. Let me just add the variable I. So these both do the same thing, but are different syntaxes. Personally, I think the for loop is better, as you can have all your variables up here, and you can also make it do things like I plus equals 2. You can have a lot more fun up there instead of having to add like I plus plus in the bottom there. It's just a lot simpler and cleaner. So those are the differences between the loops. There's not too much of a difference. Often they'll do the same thing, just in different ways. But for, I believe, is much cleaner because you don't need variables hanging everywhere, and you can just do stuff much more easily. That's it. Thanks for watching.